Good morning, everybody. How are you? It's so good to see you. So grateful I get to spend some more time with you today. It's a beautiful Tuesday out where I live, and here we are again, being able to talk data science. So, how lucky are we? How lucky are we to be able to talk data science, right? It's. I think it's a luxury to be able to get together and meet people from all around the world and be able to create this fellowship and talk with each other about, a really fascinating topic that obviously all of us find very interesting. So thank you so much for being here. Just a really busy morning. It's been a busy weekend. I don't share a lot about my family, but my parents are very elderly, but they still get around. They're still very active. So right now they're in the middle of a trip to Europe. They're in Italy, Portugal, Spain, and I heard from them recently. So they're doing well. So I'm really grateful that they're having a good time on their trip. So lots of things to be grateful for, and just really grateful to be able to be here with you. So another thing I'm grateful for is the growth on my Instagram and on my YouTube. So look forward to seeing all the new people on both of those platforms. And really just hoping that you guys will be able to participate and be a part of these chats. So please, one of the things we do is we do our global roll call. So if you're new, please let us know your city, state, country, province. Let us know where you're from. Let us know, whatever you're comfortable sharing. No one's going to call on you. You don't have to be some amazing data scientist to participate. It's just a way for you to feel part of the conversation, build the community, build each other up. So please, if it's your first time, please let us know your city, state, country, province. And if you want to share about your role, if you're a student, or if you're in the field, what you do in the field, it's up to you. It's up to you. It's whatever you feel comfortable sharing. So while I wait for my chat to fill up with those introductions, I'm already seeing some people. So welcome to the early arrivals. One of the things that I like to also do is I like to start off with an opening note. I like to give an opening note to be able to kind of, maybe set the tone a little bit for the conversations, but also just to, give you guys something to think about, maybe encourage you to participate. It's really up to you. But I've been wanting to get out a little bit of a story that I haven't quite found the right venue for. So I thought the opening note would be a good one. Because I'm getting a lot of questions about resumes and recruiting, coming out of school, things along those lines. So today's opening note, I want to share with you the last time I did a career fair at a university. So I worked for a large company, and large companies tend to go to these career fairs. I'm not sure if career fairs are a thing in overseas universities. Let me know in the chat if you went to an overseas university, outside of the US, do they do career fairs? I don't know. But they have these fairs where all of the big companies come to a conference room at the university, and then students come and they get to talk, and there's tables and they leave their resume and all that, right? Let me know if that happens in other countries. I don't know if that's a thing. I'd be curious to know. So I want to share with you the last time that I ran a table. So big university. I'm not going to mention a name. Massive university. One of the biggest universities in the US had a career fair. They invite companies. My company wanted to send, managers and above. So they selected me and another guy to go down there. Two of us ran the table for our company. And our company was a big company, so it draws a lot of students. We had a line the whole time. It was crazy. We were busy. You're on your feet the whole day. It's tough. It's a tough environment. But, it's a good recruiting tool, right? For both us and the students. But I wanted to give you guys some scope around that so that you understand it when you go next to a career fair. Because I'm going to give you my view of it, okay? So at that career fair, I believe we were there for 4 hours, I think. I think it was a 4-hour career fair. From like 1 to 5 p.m. or 2 to 6, something like that. And in that time, I collected 130 resumes. 130 resumes. I had a stack of resumes, like a huge stack of resumes. Okay? HR wanted me to send them my top 10 choices. No, excuse me, my top 5 to 10 choices by that evening, as before I left the career fair. Like, like during cleanup and stuff, they ask you to send them your top 5, 10 choices. By the next day, by the next morning, I think it was like a 10 a.m. deadline or like a lunchtime deadline, something like that. They wanted me to send them my top 20 choices. And it wasn't just for roles that I was hiring. It was for roles across the entire company. Okay? And then after that, they basically didn't care. I could have just thrown the resumes away. All right? So that's going to give you the scope of how quickly things happen. So by the time I've even left your university, I've already made my top 5 choices at minimum. I think in that case, I did send 10 names. I haven't even left your university and I've already chosen the top 10. By noon the next day, your resume's in the trash. I mean, that's it. That's really what it comes down to. Now, of course, you're welcome to talk to other people. I'm just giving you my view from my experience. But, I've worked for some companies I guarantee you want to work for. And we get a lot of resumes, and that's just the way it is, right? Because we get so many, right? But that's how quickly it happens. So you in turn have to be prepared. So let's look at the downside of that, right? We're going to look at the downside and the upside of that, right? The downside of that is, do you think I had time to check your GitHub? No. Right? Do you think I had time for you if you said, oh, yeah, I'm still working on my resume. I'm going to email it to you. Give me your card. Believe it or not, I've had people who show up at those career fairs without a resume. And it's like, really? Am I going to remember you if there isn't something about you that made you stand out to me? Or, made our interaction memorable, right? Because if I'm not checking your GitHub and all I have is your resume, then the face-to-face also counts, right? Like, I remember one of the recruits that I did recommend, they were smart enough to recognize and to have some back and forth, some chit chat. And I remember they told me, they were like, oh, wow, there's a lot of people here. You must be busy. How are you? Is it a tough day for you? They had the awareness to be able to say, wow, you've been on your feet all day. Are you okay? They offered to get me a cup of water or whatever it was, but they were aware enough to be able to say, hey, you know what? Like, I'm going to try to have a conversation with you, not just, hey, here's my resume. I'm a business graduate, blah, 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 right? Because you don't remember the ones who just drop off the resume, right? Or I had people who I gave my card to, and then they would send me a thank you like 4 days later, a week later. Like, yeah, that's cool, and 50-50 chance I don't even remember you. And so what? Like, HR had my selections like a week ago, and here you are following up. Like, follow up that day. Follow up like as soon as you leave my table. Right? Like, that's the idea. Like things happen quickly. And it makes sense, right? Because the company, invested time and money to have that table there, right? So they want to see a return on their money. Like, they wanted me to send them the candidates because that's their return on investment, right? For me to say, yeah, I went to this career fair, we had a table, it cost us this much money, and we got 10 quality candidates out of it. Well, I guess it was 20 because the other guy also sent his 10, right? But I mean, the company needs to see that return on investment, right? So if you're emailing me a week later, hey, thanks, I'd like to talk about opportunities. HR has had my selections for a week. You're way, way too late, right? Let's look at the upside of that, right? If you come prepared with a good resume, that's been read and edited, and you've gotten feedback from people that love you, from people that love you enough to be honest with you. If you present yourself well, if you have projects you can talk about, if you, show some awareness, care about the interviewer that's there, or the representative that's there, now you're having a whole different experience, right? Now you're elevating yourself above the other 120 candidates, right? Or the other 120 resumes. Or if there's something special about your resume, point that out too, right? Like I remember one guy, he was an older guy, but he had extensive military experience. I think he was like a captain in the military. Or another girl talked to me about how she was I can't remember if she was the Turkish female chess champion, or like top 5 Turkish female chess players or something like that. Who else was there? There were a couple other folks, but if that's your highlight, if that's something that you've done, then lead with that, right? Tell me that, right? Try to make yourself stand out in those couple moments that we might have together. And don't wait. Don't hesitate. Send your follow-ups right away. Be prepared with your resume. If you have questions, send them to me that day, or, the very next day, like the very next morning, no later than that. Because, things really do happen that quickly. Even if you contacted me later, I couldn't even go back to HR if I wanted to. They would still tell me, no, we got enough candidates out of that career fair. We're on to the next thing. Right? Because a big company does multiple career fairs, right? I wasn't their only representative. I'm sure they run multiple each year, right? So keep that in mind. I've been wanting to put out that piece of information because I don't think a lot of people know it from the other side of the table. I think that was a unique experience I got to have. I was, grateful for that experience. But just keep that in mind the next time you're talking to a representative from a company, or, you're going to a recruitment fair or something along those lines. Things happen super quick. Come prepared. Make yourself stand out. Send your follow-ups right away. Be that prepared candidate, and that's going to help you in the future. Okay? All right. So, again, if it's your first time joining us, please let us know your city, state, country, province. And would love to have you introduce yourself to the community just to kind of help the fellowship, help everything grow. Okay? Kinda unique. I'm skipping ahead to your introduction. Good evening from Abu Dhabi, sir. Well, good evening to you too. Hope you're well. The Emirates, very nice. I've been out there. I've been out to Dubai once. That was a fun trip. So thank you so much for joining. Kind of Unique says, "Hey, sick intro, for real, such a luxury." Are you trolling me? I'm actually not happy with my intro. I need to fix my intro. I've been thinking of completely redoing my intro, but give me some feedback in the chat. What do you guys think of my intro? So I have a static screen. Like your stream starting soon, and then I have my little countdown, and then you have me, right? So I don't know if this guy's trolling me or if you're being serious, but let me know. Let me know in the chat. Give me your feedback on my intro, guys. A couple of people told me that the music is good, and I do think I chose good music for my intro. But yeah, give me some feedback below in the chat. Not just from kind of unique, but everybody can give me feedback on the intro. Would love to hear it. Rex, our good man Rex. Hi everyone, hope you're having a great day from New York City. Rex, that's all you have to say, right? NYC. Everybody knows where New York City is, right? That's the beauty of New York City. There's only one New York City. So welcome, Rex. Hope you're doing well. Landry, you're back, my good friend from Belgium. How are you? It's been a while. I think it's been like a week or two. You okay, my friend? Glad to see that you're back. Hope you're well. K-Cabs from Atlanta, Georgia. Nice, K. I think this is your first time here. I don't think I've seen you before. If so, let us know, but welcome and glad to see you here. Rohit Rathod says, good evening from Karnataka, India. Nice. Very cool. I think it's your first time, so welcome, welcome. Lots of new followers. So don't be embarrassed to identify yourself as new. My Instagram has been growing like crazy. I think I grew 4,000 followers in 1 week. So yeah, lots of people. But yeah, welcome. Damilaire, Oregon says good evening from Wales. Nice, welcome. I think it's also your first time. If it is, then welcome. Really glad to have you here. Is it evening time in Wales? Really? I thought it'd be a little earlier than that, but knows what I know. Good morning, everyone from Knoxville, Tennessee. On the job hunt and working on building up my data science chops. Nice, Patrick. You know, I think you're going to get there, my friend. You're going to be just fine. And Patrick's also one of our moderators that helps us out. So shout out to Patrick. So a great way to build your chops is to look at our Discord. Discord has become a great resource for discussion. Let me bring that up. Nope, that is not quite it yet. Let me refresh that. Give me just, there it is. There's our Discord. So our Discord has become a great source of discussion. Right now, we are currently looking at a question that I am providing that came from a private equity data scientist interview. So I put out different pieces of content for people to think about. Other people post their own content, you know, their own links or articles that they find. So it's become a really great resource. We are now beyond 175 people, approaching 200 people. Craziness. So yeah, you know, if you want to try to be our 200th member, go ahead and try to join us. But it's been a really good community. And as I keep on saying, guys, talking things out back and forth is a great way to develop your scientist skills. Don't underestimate the value in making your views known and hearing other views and then talking things out. Very important part of the scientific process, not just now, but for your entire career. So I'm inviting you to join our Discord. Great community. It's also a good way for you to keep in touch beyond these chats, right? You know, maybe I'll take a break from live streaming, but the Discord will still be there and you guys can still have discussion. And, you know, I'm really proud of everybody in there who's keeping the chat, you know, very civil, very calm. I also have moderators on there that help me, you know, so don't be embarrassed. Don't be shy. You know, nobody's gonna, you know, crack down on you or anything. It's just a really good community for data science. And by the way, guys, I'm going to go ahead and start saying that this is the biggest data science Discord channel out there. You know, if somebody wants to prove me wrong, I'm happy to hear it, right? Maybe, you know, maybe some of you guys are more active on Discord than I am, but I don't know of any. I don't know of anybody else doing data science on a large scale like this. So if you guys know somebody else, let me know. But I'm going to go ahead and say that this is your opportunity to join the largest data science Discord out there. So I'm inviting you to join. Would love to have you. Okay. Let me go back to my regular view. Aslan says, I am from Pakistan. I'm currently pursuing a bachelor's in software engineering with a focus on data engineering. I'm from Pakistan. Cool, Aslan. Welcome. Glad to have you here. I think this might be your first time, so glad to have you here. Hope that you're doing well. Yassine, our good friend Yassine from Tangier, Morocco. Nice, Yassine. Yassine, you've been such a consistent supporter. Really, really grateful for you. So Yassine, I know that you also study data science in school. At the end of the year, I want you to tell me whether you learn more from your professors or if you learn more from this channel. I want you to make a comparison. I want to see your study on this, okay? Because I think you're helping us understand a lot, and you're also learning a lot. So you let me know in the future how that comes out, okay? Kizar Jawad says, love from Pakistan. Nice, very cool. Thank you, Kizar. I love seeing all my international viewers. My analytics tell me that I have viewers from all around the world, which I think is super exciting. Have people of all ages. My gender numbers are quickly balancing. I think this morning I checked, I'm up to 20% female viewership, which is much higher than where I started. So really grateful for everyone around the world. You know, I try to keep things inclusive. So thank you so much for checking in from Pakistan. Akshay says, Is it a good time to do masters in Germany in data science? I'm from India. I have 3 years of experience in data analytics. Actually, I have no idea about the German education or degrees that are offered there. Sorry, I wish I could comment on that. You know, I tell you guys, I stay in my lane. I only comment on things that I know, and I'm not well versed enough on the universities in Germany, so have to take a pass on that. Okay, Damilaire says they. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Let me know if that's correct, Damilaire. They are in the UK. Okay, I think you're referring to the career fairs. Okay, good to know. So it seems like career fairs do happen outside of the US. So let me know, guys. Rohit also says yes in my institution. Okay, cool. So again, I'm giving you guys the view from the other side of the table, right? And I have a feeling that in most countries, they would probably operate the same way, right? I mean, yeah, great. I have your resume, but it's in a big stack of other resumes, right? Like, I'm only going to hold on to those for so long, no matter what country I live in, right? You got to move fast. Igmo Chang, Costa Rica, computer engineering student on my last year, was on a DS internship, but didn't have my contract extended. Okay, that's okay. Not every internship gets extended, you know? And that's not always a reflection on you, right? So hang in there. Izar says, does university name matter for your degree? Not nearly as much as you think. You know, guys, in August, I had an interview series, right? Where I brought in all of my friends, and all of my friends are directors and managing directors. And this question came up with my friend Lynn, who is an amazing specialist in HR analytics. And she talked about how they did a study. They did a study of, you know, these are the people we hired out of top universities. These are the people we hired out of every other university. Is there a performance difference? And they could not find a performance difference, right? There was no detectable performance difference. So it doesn't matter nearly as much as you think. What matters is how ready to go you are on your first day. Everybody wants to hire somebody who's ready to go on their first day, period. That's it. Everybody wants that. Every job, not even just data science. I'm talking every job, right? Okay. So show that you're ready to go on your first day. How do you do that? Well, you work on your own projects. In the interviews, you say, hey, I'd like to talk to you about these minimum of 3 projects that I did on my own from beginning to end. That's how you show it, right? So don't worry about the university. Don't let that hold you back, okay? Yeah, Lannery says, yes, my university hosts a yearly career fair. About 150 companies show up. Okay, so Lannery's from Belgium. Yeah, so that's a pretty sizable career fair there, Lannery. I think the one I went to was a massive university, like literally one of the biggest universities in the entire US. And I think, yeah, they had like 130 companies, something like that. So yeah. So Lannery, I think that what the advice I gave kind of holds for something like yours too, right? You got to show up prepared. Those people are going to see those companies are going to see a lot of candidates in that time, right? So you got to do your best to stand out, okay? I am Shiva Dev. Shiva, we usually ask people to introduce themselves. You know, it also shows a little bit of emotional intelligence to be able to come in and say, hi, I'm so-and-so from, you know, place, right? We encourage that. Please review my resume. Sure. My consulting rate's $300 an hour. I'll send you a link. Patu spam. Patu, we let us know where you're from, Patu. I think this might be your first time, so we always do our global roll call. What do you do now What do I do now professionally? What do you What? What do you think this is? I'm a social media superstar now. Hello. Patu, have you considered L1 Help Desk? I hear they have pretty cool headsets and really nice comfortable chairs to sit in. Look into it. L1 Help Desk. Lots of job opportunities, okay? Rahul, our good friend Rahul. Hello, Dennis. What's up? How you doing, Rahul? Hope you're well. Hope you're well. Hope you're well out there in India. Um, Ishake Anas? Guys, if I mispronounce your name, please let me know, okay? Ishake says, hello. Hello, Ishake. Let us know where you're from. And anything else you're comfortable sharing. Mafood, hello, Mr. Dennis. Your Discord link doesn't seem to be working. I think Rex has already corrected that. And I think I just saw you join anyway. So I think you got to a working link. But yeah, guys, I from now on I'm only publishing one link. I've made sure it's a non-expiring link, and you'll be able to use that. Rex has already posted it. Thank you so much, Rex. But yeah, please go ahead and join us on Discord. Rohit says, hi everyone from Bengaluru, India. Okay, cool. Thank you so much. Now, I have a question. Is Bengaluru the same as Bangalore? I don't know if Bangalore is just like the westernized way to say that. But let me know. To me, I've always considered them the same, but I'm happy to be wrong on that, and I don't want to be disrespectful if I'm wrong on that. But is that the same as Bangalore? Like, is Bangalore just like the westernized way to pronounce it? Let me know. Patrick says, I love the music in your intro. It's very inspiring. All right, cool. Okay. Yeah, Patrick, I appreciate that feedback, and I've gotten positive feedback. Other people have told me that the music is cool, and I do think I've chosen good music, you know? I pay for a service that gives you like all that royalty-free music and stuff, because, you know, I like to keep things ethical. So I listened to like tracks, and I was like, oh, this one sounds pretty cool. So yeah, I like it too. And I've gotten good feedback on it. So thanks for that. Mafood, thank you so much for the introduction. I'm Mafood, 4th year computer engineering student from Algeria. Nice. Back-end developer with Python and trying to break into data science by getting end studies and internship, hopefully. Okay, cool. Very cool. So you did computer engineering, and now you're also doing back-end development with Python and trying to break into data science. Okay. All right. Well, that sounds like a good set of skills. You know, make sure you understand, you know, the purpose of data science and what it's capable of and what it's not capable of. But I think you have a solid background for that, Mafood. And I get a lot of viewers from Northern Africa, you know? I mean, I'm smart enough to know that Algeria is next to Morocco. And I undoubtedly have a lot of people from Morocco in my chat. We've already determined that for some reason I'm big time in Morocco, guys. But thanks so much for the introduction, Mafood. Just Do It Abi says, hi, I'm Abhijit, PhD candidate from University of Dayton, Ohio. Okay, very cool, Abhijit. Thanks for the introduction. Really appreciate that. I think it's your first time here, so welcome. You know, hopefully we can teach you some things, and you know, maybe you can teach us some things. You're not our only PhD in here. We have a couple of PhDs, so feel free to join, and you know, feel free to just, you know, contribute as you can to the community. Rohit says, intro looks like an intro for a motivational speaker. It can be changed according to the personality of the speaker. What? Change it? Are you saying that I'm not motivational? I think I'm very motivational. You know, I like the theme music because it's like positive and upbeat, you know, gets you going, you know, and I like to think that I bring positivity to my streams. So that's why I like the music. But yeah, I guess it does have like that intro, or that feeling, right, of a motivational speaker. So also, if you guys listen very, very carefully, I keep it low, but in the background, I also have this, I have background music. The title is called African Cafe, and I like that, you know, like that global music, you know, cafe vibe, you know, African vibes, you know, I kind of like that too. So I don't know if you can hear it a lot in the background, but that's my second music. So I have my intro music, and then I have my background music that you can also hear on my videos and stuff like that. But I do like both of those music selections. If anything, I was thinking about changing the visuals, you know? Igmo says, I didn't really understand the visuals on the intro. Music was great. Yeah, I agree, Igmo. If I make any changes, it's going to be to the visuals. I'm going to keep the music. Yeah. But, like on the visuals, I was thinking of maybe doing like one of those like small windows where you show like the best of highlights. Or I've seen other, like one of my favorite creators, he has like a whole custom like cartoon video that he has, and you know, to explain his life and how he became a creator. I think those are kind of cool. So I might do something like that. I don't know. Just many possibilities. I've got so many content ideas, guys. I just need to find the time to do them all. But you know, but yeah, I agree with you, Igmo. The visuals could use some help, but the music is probably going to stay. Manoj says, good morning, sir. Hello, everyone from Bangalore, India. Nice. Very cool, Manoj. Welcome back. Such a great supporter. Really grateful for your support. This is Amir. This is Amir. We asked people to introduce themselves. I think this might be your first time joining, maybe. So yeah, introduce yourself and I'll come back to your question, okay? Rex, thank you so much for posting the Discord link. Damilaire says your pronunciation isn't bad. All right, cool. I'll take it. And you know what, guys? I mean this sincerely. It's one of my pet peeves when people mispronounce my first name or my last name. So in turn, obviously, I don't like doing it to other people. So if you ever need to correct me on your name, please let me know, because I want to get your names right, because I want people to get my name right. So, you know, forgive me if I do get your name wrong. It's not intentional. Mohammed says, do you believe that curiosity is the road to success? Mohammed, that's a great question. And Mohammed, I think I've answered a couple of your questions on Instagram when I do my AMAs. And you've been asking some great questions. So you're asking a great question about curiosity, okay? And what I would tell you is that it's important, and it's something that becomes increasingly important in your career. So when you're first starting out, obviously you want to have the skills, you want to have the methodology, you want to have the programming, and you want to have some curiosity, right? But it's your projects and the things that, you know, you develop on your own to show your technical skills that will get you into the industry. But then once you're a professional in the industry, the creativity becomes a lot more important, because people will continually come back to you, right? And say, okay, well, what can we do with this data? We just got this new program, and this program outputs these reports. What data science can we get from these reports? And it's also how you're going to differentiate yourself among your peers, right? How are you going to tell your boss that you deserve a raise over your peers unless you can show that you've been creative, right? So yeah, it's definitely important, and becomes more important as you grow in your career. So it's kind of like an exponential scale, right? So yeah, I love the question, and that's my answer to you. That you would need to have creativity from the beginning, and it only becomes more important. A great question. K-Cavs, did we get what you were from? K-Cavs, let us know where you're from. I can't remember if you introduced yourself or not. Oh, you were, okay, yeah, you were from Atlanta, Georgia. Excuse me, yeah, okay, cool. What is one suggestion you would give for someone who's looking for a data scientist role as a new grad in this current job market? So K-Cavs, my latest video on YouTube addresses this. So please go and view it. It's a big title. It's called, the thumbnail says that there are no jobs. So in that video, I introduced the rule of 3, okay? All right, guys. So if you're new to my channel or you haven't seen that video, I encourage you to please go see it. It's gotten a great response. It's my best video to yet. And honestly, I'm very proud of this de-influencing data science series that I'm putting out. I think it's going to do really well. The rule of 3, okay? So guys, write this down. Super important. Rule of 3. There's 2 elements to the rule of 3. 1, have a well-reviewed resume. Minimum of 3 people who love you enough to be brutally honest with you need to review your resume. Don't send it to people who are just going to say, yeah, that resume was good. Good job. 3 people who are love you enough to be honest with you. Okay? Minimum of 3. Have a really well-reviewed resume. The second part of the rule of 3 is have a minimum of 3 projects that you can speak to in interviews. And these are 3 projects that you owned from end to end. Not Kaggle, not your school capstone project, no matter how cool it was, because everybody thinks they had a cool school project. 3 projects that you developed from end to end. All right? That's the rule of 3. If you do those 3, 1, you'll elevate yourself above the current candidate pool, and 2, your probability of landing a job has greatly increased by doing those 2 things. Okay? How do you implement those 2 things? Talk to the people around you and tell them and say, hey, I'm about to take on a serious job hunt. I appreciate your brutal honesty with my resume because you'll be saving me a lot of time. I'm going to be sending out this resume a lot. So the more honest you are with me, the more time you're going to save me. So please be as honest as you possibly can. All right. That's how you implement that first part. The second part, well, 1, you need to come up with the studies. 2, you need to talk about them, right? Coming up with the studies, the reason I suggest that is because it's a really, really good gauge of where you are with your skills. It's a really good way for you to quickly find out and find out if you're ready or not. Because if you can't come up with 3 studies, then, maybe you need to take a step back. Maybe this is not the time to be applying for data science jobs. Right? So I put that out there, not just as, because I didn't say build your portfolio. I said do 3 really good studies. And if you can't do 3 really good studies, then what are the steps you need to take to fill in those skill gaps? And it's probably not applying for data science jobs, right? Maybe you're not ready. That's okay. Data science will be there tomorrow. Take the time to be ready. Okay, so let's say you have the 3 studies, right? You walk into an interview, and as soon as you sit down with the interviewer, you have those studies printed out. You print out the article that you wrote about the business impact on LinkedIn. You take out that printout, you hand it over. By the way, I know you didn't ask for a writing sample, but I'd like to submit to you these 3 studies that I did as my writing sample. And now you've turned the tables because now you're driving the interview. And now you're giving yourself an opportunity to display your skills. And more importantly, like I said, you're demonstrating that you're ready to go on day 1. Super valuable. Super valuable to be able to demonstrate that, right? So those are some of the keys to implementing the rule of 3. But you got to do it. You got to do the rule of 3. Okay? And those 3 studies, again, may not come easy. You might get stuck on the modeling part. Okay, that's fine. That means you need to work on your modeling. Maybe you're not ready to be a data scientist. That's okay. Okay? Mikala, did we get where you were from? I can't remember if this is your first time or not. Does AI take over data science? Maybe not take over, but heavily influenced by it. The time to start preparing is now. Okay? So make sure you do that. Make sure you start preparing now. Okay? Can you review my resume? Yes, I already have. L1 Support Center called. They said they have a nice chair and a nice headset for you, so call them back. Rohit Rathod says yes. Rohit, I'm sorry. I don't know what you're referring to. Help me out there, Rohit. I'm sorry. I kind of lost the thread there. Benglion Wase, hi from Liberia. Nice. Very cool, Benglion. Nice to see you. I think we've had a couple of people from Liberia before, so thank you for joining us. And that's That's really, I'm just always humbled when I see that, people from all over the world are joining. That's really cool. Thank you so much. Hope you're well in Liberia. Okay, Rohit. Thank you for the clarification. Yes, Bengaluru is in the regional language, and Bangalore is a Western version of the name. Nice. Okay, cool. Now I'm glad I wasn't mispronouncing it, because I've always thought they were the same. But thank you so much for confirming that. Official LIC advisor. Hello, nice to see you. Let us know where you're from, official. Hello, Dennis. Happy Monday. Looking forward to a great day. Hey, Joseph. Joseph, it's not Monday. I think Joseph's still maybe a little hungover from the Labor Day activities. In case you guys don't know, yesterday was a holiday in the U.S., big holiday in the U.S. So a lot of people kind of had a 3-day weekend. So it feels like a Monday, but it's actually Tuesday, Joseph. Come on, Joseph. It's Tuesday, my friend. Mafood says, I started to notice a lot of data scientists transitioning in project management and product management. Why would you say that is? I don't know. I personally haven't seen this so much. I think it's also going to be very industry and maybe even company dependent. So I'm not sure if you could say this across the board. But there's a lot of reasons why that would happen. So I personally don't have any empirical evidence that this has happened, right? So I don't know. I really couldn't comment on it. I haven't seen this to any extensive degree. Okay. Official LIC, let us know where you're from, okay? Reddy says, hello, Dennis. Currently, I'm a master's student in business analytics from University of South Florida. Very cool. I've applied to over 500 positions without much luck. Can you review my resume and give me advices? The rule of 3. Do you have 3 projects that you did on your own? Right now, at this very moment, do you have 3 LinkedIn articles that you can send and show that you did 3 projects? I'm going to go ahead and say the answer is no. I don't know you. This is your first time here, but I'm going to say the answer is no. Did you have people review your resume? Did you have 3 people who really love you and review your resume? That one's 50-50. But, rule of 3. Okay? Let me know in the chat. I'm happy to be wrong, right? But I don't know you. But I'm comfortable saying you probably don't have 3 projects that you owned. Okay? Arslan Jute, how to start career in data science, AI, and data engineering. I am a master's in data science. I mean, you're in the right place if you want to get help from social media. But if you're just starting out, are you just starting out as a master's in data science? Because if you're currently in a master's program, then let the program do its work, right? Guys, I've been getting a lot of messages like this. I just started my program. I'm about to start my program, but I want to work now. How can I get into the work now? It doesn't work that way, guys. You study and then you work. I don't think you know enough to go into the workforce if you're early on in your program, right? Why risk the damage to your reputation? Why do that to yourself? Honor yourself enough to say, hey, I need to get some school under me. I chose this program to educate me, so let the program educate me, and then I'll look for jobs. That's what I did. When I decided to go into data science, that was before I did any master studies. But I took a hard look at my resume. And I came to 2 conclusions, right? One, I had a software developer resume, an excellent one, but it wasn't a data science resume. And 2, I didn't have the skills. I told myself, I said, Dennis, if you got a call today from a company saying, come on board, be our next data scientist, would I fail or would I succeed at that job? And the answer is I would fail at that job because I didn't have enough skills. So when I get messages like that from people, I think they haven't had that conversation with themselves to be able to say, well, wait a minute, I would suck as a data scientist right now. So let the program do its work, and then do your own work. And then maybe sometime down the road, think about applying, right? But don't put the cart before the horse, as we say here in the U.S. Take in the academics, take in the schooling, right? So if I misread something in your statement, feel free to let me know in the chats. But I'm getting a lot of these questions recently, where people want to rush to the job just because they signed up for a program. Doesn't work that way, right? Let the classes do its job, okay? I mean, we have some PhD people in here that are only now looking for their first data science job, right? So keep that in mind. Amin Yousefi, I can't remember if this is your first time or not. Hi, I am reading the book ITSL. Great. It is filled with lots of theory. How do I balance theory and practice? Check out my Sunday classes. In my Sunday classes, we're doing that, right? I'm pulling out stuff from the ISL book, not ITSL, but if you know ITSL, you'll be fine with ISL too. And I'm pulling out what's actually used in the real world, right? So come to the classes and start doing that. But really, what you need to realize is that transition that you're asking about, that's where the creativity comes in. Right? I mean, we earlier had a question on creativity. So this is that small portion of creativity that you're going to need as a student. To say, oh, okay, I learned this in school. And if I learned this and I read this other study, gee, that study sounds like it's using what I just learned. Well, what if I did this and I extended the study like this? And you're going to have to start kind of using your own brain, right? That's where the creativity comes in for you to make those links. All right. Ilyas Haraj says, hey, Ilyas, I think this is your first time. Let us know where you're from, Ilyas. Welcome if it's your first time. Joseph, thank you so much. Thank you so much for jumping in there. Appreciate that. Mafood, someone please clip this. Which part? I do clips for all my live streams. You'll see them come up in your YouTube feed. If you're a subscriber, you'll see them come up in your YouTube. I clip every single live stream I ever do. Yeah, thank you so much, Joseph, for putting up those links. Really helpful. Shout out to Joseph and Patrick and Rex, who do a great job helping me be moderators. So thank you so much to those guys. If you see them, please say thank you. Sarath says, hi again from India. Nice, Sarath. Welcome back. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. I think you just joined us for the first time recently, so I'm glad to see you back. Joseph says, I'm a day behind. Yes, you are, my friend. Yes, you are, but no worries. It's going to be a great Tuesday. Kizar says, which company do you work? I am from Pakistan. Kizar, I work for the company of Dennis. That's the only company that matters. I work for the company of Dennis, so thanks so much. Haz Sansvar. Haz, welcome. Nice to see you. I think it's your first time. If it is, welcome. Let us know where you're from, Haz. Ilyas says, I am from Algeria, but currently studying computer science in Canada. Cool. Am I cooked? I only have one internship. I just finished my CS Masters. I don't know what you mean by that. Can you please clarify? I'm not sure what you mean. Okay, if you could please clarify that, I appreciate it. Igmo says, in these career fairs, does vestment matter to you? Not as much as you'd think. As long as you come presentable, wear a clean shirt, wear a clean dress, That's okay. I'm going to see so many people in such a short amount of time that it's really just more about like your politeness and your attitude, your positivity. You want to have a well laid out resume, obviously, and just tell me what's special about you, right? You know, like verbally, right? Like literally, tell me what's special about you, right? Like give me a reason to remember you, right? But I don't think the clothes matter nearly as much as you think. You know, just come presentable. You know, just wear clean clothes. Yeah. So M. Shadran says, hi, can you please elaborate in simple words? What's the difference between data analyst, data scientist, and data science? So first of all, data science should be thought of as the general umbrella of everything, right? Machine learning, AI, data analysis, all of that is data science, right? It's data science with Dennis, not machine learning with Dennis, right? There's a reason why I chose that title. Data science is the entire umbrella. Data analyst, data scientist, those are all titles within that umbrella. Titles of jobs. And then you have your technologies like machine learning is a technology, AI is a technology, analytics is a technology, right? And then you have your tools like Python or neural networks or things like that. But the overarching umbrella is always data science. And then what you're mentioning, data analysts and data scientists, are roles within the greater world of data science. Okay? There's a lot of information on the internet, but not clear. Yeah, and there's a lot of crappy information on the internet. That's kind of why I started this, right? Because I got sick and tired of all the terrible information. Okay? Aditya says, hi there. Hi, Aditya. Glad to see you here. Yeah, please let us know where you're from. I think it's your first time. Andres says, are you familiar with YOLO computer vision technology? What are your thoughts on it? No, I'm not. Tell us more. Tell us more. What about it is interesting to you? Okay. Casual economist, I'm late. Yes, you are. You know better, casual economist. You're a regular now. You know better. You know I start on time. I hate starting late. So yeah, you are late. Hope you're doing well. Going back to your point regarding creativity, what about memory then? How do we memorize all functions? Actually, this has been bugging me because I used to learn Python functions a lot. Who says you need to learn functions? Who said that? It's not about the functions. It's about how you can come up with a solution, right? It's about how you put everything together and say, oh yeah, data science is capable of that. And I think I can do it via this, and this. Yeah, I can get to a solution, right? The rest is just putting the tools together, right? Python's a tool. Python's not a magic bullet. Python is not data science. Python is a tool. But it's the mechanic that does the diagnosis and comes up with a solution, right? And then they decide which tools to use. But the skill is in coming up with the solution. All right? So yeah, don't bother learning functions. That's just learning the same tool over and over again. And besides, you're going to have AI do that for you. Come to the classes on Sundays and you'll see. I don't even know what's out there anymore. My first prompt, and the people who have attended classes can totally verify me. My first prompt when we start into classes is usually, hey, I want to do regression. What frameworks do you know for regression? Like, I don't even know what frameworks are out there, and ChatGPT chooses them. Right? So don't bother learning functions and stuff. That's a waste of time. Understand how solutions come to be. And then you can pick up the tools, or get ChatGPT to pick up the tools for you. Okay? Nazish, welcome. Welcome, Nazish. Currently, I am first year in BS AI degree, and I cover basics of data science concept, which thing I do to get a high-paid job. I am in Pakistan. Nope. 1, don't do things for money. 2, you're not ready for a job. You just started. You're in your first year. With all due respect, you don't know anything. Let the academics do their work. Then you do your own work. And then maybe 3-4 years from now, right? Because you're in your first year. I'm assuming you're in a 4-year program. Maybe 3-4 years from now, you'll be ready. But look, guys, I've said this before. If you're chasing data science because of the job, because of the boom, go do elderly care. You shouldn't be in a data science program. You should be in a geriatric care program. The US, Japan, Italy, a ton of other companies will love to hire you in 4 years. That's the next boom. If you're chasing money, why are you doing data science? Caring for elderly people is the way of the future. What are you doing to yourself, dude? Bad take, dude. Don't do it for money. Like, yeah, I mean, if you want to go get a high-paid job, go learn elderly care. I'm sure that somewhere in Pakistan there's a geriatric care program. Go do that. That's a massive boom coming up. But yeah, I mean, if you're here to learn data science for the high-paying jobs, you're on the wrong channel, dude. So Ilya says, will it affect my job search that I only have 1 internship, but I have really 3 good projects on my resume? No, I don't think that's like a negative thing. Like, what am I not understanding here? Why are you viewing that as a negative thing? Like, I guess I feel like I'm missing something. Like, I think it's a positive thing. I think if you have a good internship, I'm assuming the internship gave you good references, right? That you can use them as a reference. But why would that be a concern? I'm also assuming that the 3 projects you mentioned are completely independent projects you did on your own. But you sound like this is a pretty good setup here. So what's the concern? I guess I'm failing to see the concern, okay? Which topic of math is enough for ML and DS? Understand probabilities and understand what is happening underneath the hood on some of these libraries. Like, what does it mean when you have a neural network and you have 10 layers and each of those layers has 500 nodes? Like what does that mean? Right? Things like that. But don't worry about getting down into like the formulaic values of math. The libraries will take care of that for you. But understand probabilities and understand, like, just below the surface level what's happening when you use a lot of these libraries. Okay? Rohit, I'm going to skip your question because I see that you already added it in the Discord, and I think the Discord will help you with that. Katul, good to see you, my friend. I think you just joined this past weekend, so glad to see you're back. Late but here. All right, cool. Better late than never, right? Amina says, if creativity is a transition back and forth between theory and practice, then I guess the question lies in finding the practice itself. Yeah, I like the way you put that, Amina. Yeah, I mean, I like to say that it also depends on how you see the world, right? Because to me, a lot of data science, like when you get more like into the like advanced levels, it's really more about abstracting out the world. And I did a video on this. I did an early video on this that basically no one has watched yet. And I talk about how, like, let's just say like you're doing your everyday stuff and you're walking down the street, right? Like, you could sit there and figure out, like, what does the model look like for me to model a block of buildings? Like, how do I come up with the number of buildings? How many stories they have? How many windows are in each one? Like, how do I model that? Right? The thinking being that, you can't do that. Data science is based in, like, in numbers, right? So if you want to use a model for that, you got to come up with like a numerical representation of that, right? So that's how I think about it. Like that to me is where the creativity is. Like, how do I model what the world looks like to me as a human so that an algorithm can understand it? Like that's like almost like a whole field of study in itself, right? So I like the way you put it. I'm not disagreeing with you, but I just think of it, kind of like at an abstract level of like, well, how can I make the world make sense to an algorithm? Algorithms are dumb, ultimately, right? They only understand numbers. They don't understand the world, but you can make it understand the world, right? That's kind of like the human skill. So think of it that way. But I like the way you put it, but that's just kind of like the way I think about it, Just thinking about just how you make it make sense to data science, how you make the world make sense to data science. I mean, that's creative too. So Sarat says, I want to work as a data engineer for the next 2 years and post that work on data science. Can you suggest your view on this plan? Yeah, sure. I'm on board with that. Just make sure you don't get too technical on the data engineering side when you go to publish that, okay? Be careful with that. Aditya says, I am a database developer, having experience in Oracle, ClickHouse, Mongo, and also experience in Python script development, having total experience 8 years. Cool. Is it a good idea moving into data engineer or ML engineer role? Sure, if that's what interests you. Yeah. I mean, it's a good background for it. It's good that you have a variety of different sources, right? I think that's one of the keys to data engineering. You gotta have a background in a lot of sources. But sure, I think you're on board with that. Yep, I'm on board with that plan, I should say. Shadran says, I did a graduation in computer science. Now I want to continue my study in the field of data science. Me and MS in data science and PhD. What's the suggestion? What suggestion do you need? I mean, it sounds like you have a plan laid out. The plan seems reasonable, so go for it. Yeah, I mean, you're gonna do a master's and PhD in data science. That makes sense. Go for it. Bonks, good to see you back. How are you? Hope you're well. Ilya says, because my peers have a minimum of 4 internships. Great, but who cares? Your peers could be idiots for all we know, right? Don't let others steal your joy, guys. Too many people compare themselves to other people. You don't need to do that. Just be you. Maybe your peers are dumb. Who knows? Right? Why are you selling yourself short? Your resume is what it is, but you can still present yourself in a different way. You can present yourself in better ways. You can have better projects. You can demonstrate better creativity. You can demonstrate better writing skills, right? Writing skills are also super important. So yeah, don't let other people steal your joy, guys. I see too many comparisons. Don't do that to yourselves, right? Mafood says, what would you say are the metrics that a data scientist success is measured on? Mafood, excellent question. The metrics that you will be measured on. Well, first of all, again, as I've said before, the overwhelming majority of you will end up working for some sort of corporate entity. And if that's the case, you will be measured on your impact to the business, period. How did you help the business? What measurable way did you help the business? And by measurable, we're talking dollars, hours saved, fraud prevented, things along those lines. Not code, not how fast your algorithm ran. Business impact. That's what you will be measured on. And that's why, if you notice, when I tell you guys about writing your project or writing an article on your projects, I always say focus on the business impact, not the code, not the math. What is the business impact? Because that's ultimately what you'll be measured on, and quite frankly, it's the only thing they care about, right? I've shared this before and I know it's funny, but I really do mean it, You could be standing up in a meeting and you could tell them how good you could tell them the business impact you're going to have. You're going to increase sales by this, and much. And you could literally ask them, hey, by the way, do you want to know how we did this? They're going to tell you, nah. They don't care. They don't care. You could tell them that you did it with an amazing neural network that runs on a distributed GPU, or you could tell them that you trained a group of monkeys that sit in the room back there and they know how to use an iPad. And they literally will not care. They will just tell you, okay, fine, don't let the monkeys die because we don't want to stink up the office. And that's it. Like they literally will not care. It's about the business impact. So that's it, Mafood. So when you write those articles, focus on the business impact. Talk about the business impact in your interviews. I guarantee you that will put you a level up from all the other candidates. Okay? Igmo says, in the 3 projects, should the models be implemented from scratch, or is it okay to use open source Pertain models? It depends. It depends on how you mean this, Igmo. Like, if you're going to be using open source projects because, you just want to use the framework like Keras or something like that, yeah, that's totally fine. But don't use the open source project in the same example that they already have or that other people have used, right? Like, use it independently of anything else. So it's okay to use it as long as your implementation of it is unique. Yeah, that's fine. But don't just like copy the tutorial for that particular model, right? But yeah, I think that's fine overall. Amina says, I was given a project to analyze traffic congestion. The idea seemed clear at first, but over time, the deeper I dig into the project, the more errors were coming. The complexity of the code made it worse. Yeah. I mean, that's part of it. I mean, that'll happen in data science, sure. I mean, new data will come to light. Look, here's another thing that people never tell you, okay? And I put this in my book, by the way. If you guys want to read my book, First Year in Data Science, I talk about the things that nobody else talks to you about in school. Here's another thing that people don't tell you, and it could be related to your project here, Amina. Guys, models degrade over time. Just because a model works 1 year doesn't mean it'll work next year. Data changes. Data ages. Trends change. The underlying events and occurrences that create your data also change. Data has different distributions. Data has different probabilities. The longer your algorithm is out there, the longer those outliers will come to be, right? So yeah, that happens in data science. The problem starts off clear and then, oh my gosh, this problem isn't so clear anymore. Totally happens. Totally standard. Right? So yeah, that happens. That totally happens, Amina. You just got to deal with it. It's part of the job. Bongspawn says, currently working as a data analyst for Microsoft. Any suggestions on transitioning to data science? Modeling. Biggest difference between data analysts and a data scientist is modeling skills. Right? I mean, that's the biggest differentiator. So start learning your models, start working on your own projects with models. That's probably the quickest answer. And by the way, guys, I'm really honored when I get these mentions of, I work for Microsoft, I work for Deloitte, who else do I? There's a couple other companies. Somebody joined recently from a huge company. And they're coming to my little channel for advice. Like, don't you guys have internal training? Doesn't Deloitte have some really good internal training? Like, and you guys are coming to me for advice? Like, that's crazy. Because remember, guys, you guys see me as like having all these followers on Instagram and I'm growing on YouTube, but like from my perspective, from my side of the table, I'm just like sitting at home alone. Like I'm just sitting here talking into an iPhone. Like, you guys are you're asking little old me for advice and you work at Microsoft? I mean, I guess I know a thing or two about data science. I don't know. I guess I've done this a little bit. Joseph says, this reminds me of the quote, comparison is a thief of joy. Thank you for always reminding us. Yeah, Joseph, thanks for that quote. Yeah, I mean, guys, don't do it to yourselves, right? Be happy where you're standing, right? Be happy on your own 2 feet. Be your own person. And forget what everybody else says. Forget what everybody else says, what everybody else is doing. Just be you. Just be you. Be grateful. Be positive. Have a positive demeanor. Do the best you can. Dedicate yourself to the profession of data science, and you're going to be just fine. Okay? So, Joseph, I love the way you put that, and I think we should all keep that in mind. You know, don't let others steal your joy, guys. Just be who you are. You bring your own unique view, your own unique twist to your projects, to the job. That's the beauty of science. Again, please join the Discord. This is why scientists talk things out, right? Because you are you and I am me, and that's okay. There's no need to compare yourself to others, all right? So thank you so much for the time that we spent together. If I didn't get to your question, I'm sorry. It's, you know, I'm growing a lot, so I'm getting a lot of questions. Maybe I'll have to extend my lives in the future. But I stream every day at 1500 GMT. I don't sell any courses or any trash. If you want to support me, please buy my book, Your First Year in Data Science. But until the next time, take care of yourselves, take care of your families, be good to your families, and I'll see you next time.